Take it by force, Dala's story. Even though she comes from a well-off family, mostly ignored daughter, Dala normally is self-sufficient. She is in college on a full academic scholarship, pays her own fees, buys her own books, but falls short 1 month and needs money for rent and food. She asks her parents, but they say, "So sorry, we just paid your sister's rent," so they refuse her. Their brother, Evan, visits the other sister, Sheay, who is also in college. In her closet is all kinds of elegant formals and matching shoes. She is living the life. Darla is really hurt. Not only that, but Sheay also just got a brand new car. This is Darla. Quiet, hard-working, independent. The kind of daughter who never asks for much. Until one day, she had no choice. Due to unexpected college fees, a heavier course load and fewer hours at her part-time job, she finds she has a financial shortfall. Darla checks her bank account balance, it's $24.38. A notice on her fridge, rent due, $750. For her very modest studio apartment. She calls her mother, Elaine James. "Hey mom, I'm really sorry to ask this, but I'm short on rent and food this month. Can you help me out just this once?" Mom sounds apologetic but firm. "Oh honey, we just helped your sister with her rent. You know we can't do both right now. You're usually so good with your money. I'm sure you'll figure something out. You'll ask Dad for me?" "Yes, but I already told you." Darla's mother was not going to ask Darla's father anything, but she was going to pretend that she had. Elaine James is all about appearances, looking good and being seen in the best places. Darla wasn't about any of that, so why should Elaine invest anything into Darla? Her youngest daughter, Sheay. Now that's a proper daughter who makes Elaine proud. Sheay is who Elaine would get anything for, give anything to, and even ask her husband, their father, Greg, for anything that would benefit Sheay. Hurt and alone, Darla hangs up. Silence. Her face falls. She opens a near-empty fridge. Darla thought she might be okay to skip a meal or two, but rent, how was she going to pay her rent? She sits in her tiny, dark apartment, crying quietly, but then wipes her tears and starts studying. Her older brother, Evan, is enrolled in grad school, supposedly for an MBA, one day drops in on the younger sister, Sheay, who is also a college student. Even though the James family has 3 children in college at the same time, they shouldn't have any trouble affording it. Their father, Greg James, is a partner in a law firm that specializes in mergers and acquisitions. He does quite well. He does well and brags about it in certain circles. Evan seems to get whatever he wants from Dad, but when the girls want something, he suddenly has less money and says that they have to go through their mother. "Ask your mother," he always says to the girls. Their mother doesn't work, she just apportions out what Greg gives her, which is generous, between herself, what she wants and the 2 daughters, keeping most of it for herself and for what she calls her own upkeep. Dad, Greg, makes a difference between the genders of his children. Mother, Elaine, makes another difference between the 2 girls. They live in a society where a difference is made because of their color. The only place Dala has an advantage is that when a difference is made between the astute and the studious versus the slackers or the dull ones, Dala wins every time because she is brilliant. However, she has to finish school and get her diploma to be able to work in her field and make a good life for herself, and that will require finances that she doesn't have right now. Within James' family we can see favoritism. It is deep and it is not pretty. Compared to Darla's small dark studio apartment, Sheay's apartment is vibrant, well decorated. While there, Evan opens the closet looking for a charger, finds dozens of elegant formal dresses, heels color-coded, and designer handbags. "What is this room, Sheay?" "It's a whole room and you've turned it into a closet." "Really?" Sheay casually says, "Oh yeah, Mom sent me a few more this month. She said I need to look good for sorority stuff. I'm a legacy pledge, you know," she said proudly. Evan is stunned. He can't see how different things are between the sisters, because he can't identify with lack or need because his father gives him everything he wants, everything he asks for, and even things that he doesn't need. Evan didn't know that their mother was still miffed that Darla wouldn't pledge. Darla said, I have too many important things to do than to play around with a sorority. Mom was secretly livid. Darla had dissed her sorority. Evan calls Darla, hey, when's the last time you talked to Mom and Dad? Darla lies, oh, we are fine. I'm just busy. Evan, you know Sheay got a new car today? Silence. Then a forced laugh from Darla, good for her. She said she couldn't walk to her sorority events. Man, you girls are something. Do you have all those evening gowns in your closet too, Darla? What? What evening gowns? Darla has had to do practically everything on her own, all alone. She has paid for her own books and school fees by working summers and part-time during school. She even shops in thrift stores for cheap clothes. She has programmed herself to eat once a day or even skip meals entirely. No, not for appearances, not to stay slim but to afford to continue in college. Darla stays slim because she walks pretty much everywhere, no matter the weather conditions. She was promised a car but even that hasn't panned out for her. She has tired of asking her parents and being refused, even necessities. Darla suspects or sometimes sees that her parents are giving her sibs what they need or ask for, but she is not jealous or petty, so she stays quiet. She thinks to herself, one day, I'll have my own and I won't have to ask them. She also thinks, one day I'll have children, and I will never treat them like this. I never asked for much. I thought being low maintenance made me good. I thought it would make them appreciate me, love me, but maybe it just made me invisible. The breaking point came when Darla gets an eviction notice. She has 2 weeks to pay or she will be put out. School is another month, she can't leave now. She asks for more hours at work, not even knowing how she will do it all. One evening at work, she faints from stress, exhaustion and dehydration and hunger. Her manager drives her to a clinic, tells her, you're not superhuman. You need to ask for help. Inside the clinic, a kind doctor explains her situation to her and gives her electrolytes for dehydration and she is fed a small meal, she is hungry. The young doctor asks her what does she do. She says, I'm a student. He says, I was that hard-working student myself, but you've got to pace yourself. Eat right. Get some sleep. Lower the stress. Drink plenty of water. He paused then asked, what is your major? I'm into technology, specifically AI solutions for medical facilities. Oh, that's awesome, I wish you could help me. I'll graduate soon, perhaps I can. Darla. I'm going to believe that you will help me, so today is no charge, he says with a broad smile. Oh. I hope you will let me keep your number? Oh. And use it sometime. You know, to check on you. That will be nice. Darla thanked him but smiled obliviously. He was flirting, but she didn't see it. Of course there was no charge, it was Canada. As she walked back to her manager's car, she was grateful for the care and the ride there. She was also grateful for Dr. Trevor. He actually saw her, she wasn't invisible to him. On the drive back to Darla's apartment, the manager asked, Darla, is everything okay? Yes, the doctor says I'm healthy, just overworked, overstressed, dehydrated and malnourished. Whoa. That's a lot. Her manager reiterated, Darla, when you need help, you've got to ask for help. I've asked for help. Your dad does okay, right? Isn't he a lawyer? Yes, he does well. So, what's the problem, if I may ask? My dad is old school, kind of tribal really. He believes that women should be seen and not heard. He devotes his time, attention, and money to my brother and not so much to me. What does your mom say? She dotes on my younger sister, and not so much me. Wow. Darla, you're a nice girl, but if you need something, I mean really need it, you may have to take it. How? By force. Until that time, what's your Cash App? I'm sending you a couple $1,000, pay me back when you get it. It doesn't have to be all at once, but it all needs to be repaid by the end of this year. 7 months until the end of the year. Darla was heading into finals and was about to graduate. How could she get this close and not finish? She must finish. She didn't want to accept the loan, but she must finish. She thanked her manager profusely and promised to pay her back. Desperation turns treacherous. When you're starving, desperate, and completely ignored, morality becomes a luxury you can't afford. Dala, now having eaten and gotten stronger, paid her rent and had much less stress, but not much money left after that emergency mercy loan from her manager. She knows she needs a game plan so this doesn't happen again. She decides to go visit Sheay for herself. She sees the new car, gleaming, downstairs. She didn't even have to guess, vanity plate, for my Sheay. Whoa. This is a lot, thought Darla. This place is gorgeous. We see a huge ring light, a makeup vanity with expensive fragrance bottles on it. Isn't this the lifestyle you get after you finish college and get your own job? Thought Darla. The closet door was ajar. Darla just walked through that door. She couldn't believe her eyes, elegant formal wear, new clothes and shoes, designer handbags. A chandelier. Really? Columns. Are we kidding right now? It never dawned on Sheay that Darla took the bus to Shay's apartment, wondering all the while, why didn't they share an apartment? Darla never knew that neither her mother, Elaine nor Sheay thought that Darla's apartment was appropriate for a legacy pledge into Elaine's sorority. They had to keep up appearances, after all. But she let Darla take the bus over instead of offering to meet Darla or pick her up. Darla is struck hard by what she sees. Sheay is nonchalant and bopping around happy as a Disney princess. Darla looks at her sister and shakes her head. OMG, my sister is a Disney princess. So, what am I? She asked herself. While there, Sheay gets a FaceTime call from a friend. Sheay brags. It's a silent spa, like, no phones, no contact with the outside world. Super exclusive. I'll basically disappear for 3 days. Heaven. Darla's eyes sharpen. Something clicks. It's a couple of hours away and I'll be driving up Thursday night. Girl, you're going to skip class Friday. Yup. It's all day Friday, Saturday, until Sunday at 5 p.m. It will be bliss. Pure bliss. Wow, wish I could go. Maybe next time. Look, I gotta go, my sister is here. After Sheay hangs up the call, Darla says, wow, Sheay, that sounds fantastic. Do you want to go? No, it's not my thing. But Darla, don't tell mom or anyone because if I like it I want to book it again and maybe take mom for her birthday. This way I get to go twice. Do you promise not to tell? I won't tell, but it sounds pricey. Sheay reaches into her designer handbag and pulls out an American Express gold card and lays it on the table. OMG. Darla is shocked, it has her name on it. Sheay, you have an American Express credit card? Yes, don't you? What? You think I'm too young? How'd you get it? You don't even have a job. Mom put me on her account. So, she will know about the spa, Sheay. No, I took my rent money and paid the spa, then I got a cash advance to cover rent. Sheay tapped her own temple as if she was very clever. On her way back to the bus stop, yes, bus stop, Sheay didn't even offer to take Darla back to her own apartment. Once outside, Darla very quickly and discreetly snapped pictures of the car and the license plate. The words, "Don't you have an American Express gold card? And I paid for a spa with my rent money and then got a cash advance from the credit card," swirled in Darla's mind and soured in her stomach. She thought she felt a little vomit in the back of her throat. This family money situation was causing Darla more stress than not having enough money for rent and food. Mom had refused Darla's request because she said she had just given Sheay the money for her rent and Shay's rent was probably double what Darla paid for her tiny studio apartment. And Sheay was using that rent money to go to a fancy spa, while Darla suffered. Is this for real, wondered Darla? That closet. No apartment comes like that, chandelier, columns, who built that out and what did that cost? Darla was so saddened because the injustice was worse than she even knew. My sister is a Disney princess, rehearsed Darla. She asked herself again, what am I? What Darla didn't know is how much of a chauvinist her dad is. Evan was the firstborn, he's male, That is all her dad really wanted. Elaine wanted a second child and conceived Darla, but Darla's dad was against the pregnancy. They fought. They separated. Darla's dad rejected her and resented Elaine for getting pregnant. Darla felt all that in the womb, but didn't even realize how it had colored who she is, even today. Through childhood and growing up, she felt less important than ever, ignored, unappreciated. She didn't know why. She just thought that this is just how she either felt, was made to feel, or both. While pregnant with Darla, her parents were so close to a divorce, but then their own families intervened and made them get back together, more for Evan than the new baby. More for appearances than love. They didn't work things out, they just obeyed their parents and resented one another for a couple of years after Darla was born. Darla was too young to remember, but Darla felt the toxicity in that household. Feelings have more memories than people realize. Feelings can remember what the mind cannot. Darla's father's father had said confidentially to Greg, "You are not going to get ahead in the business world without a wife, and having a family is a bonus that makes you look stable and trustworthy." Greg took heed and reconciled with Elaine. Darla never knew any of this. She is the child of their fights. Of their hostility. Of their selfishness and hatefulness. Darla is the child of their misery, the child of their winter. Elaine originally wanted her, but after all she suffered while pregnant, the joy of pregnancy was stolen from her. So, by the time she laid eyes on Darla, she almost felt the same as her husband, another baby. After about 3 years, Greg thought having another child would make him look really good in his law firm, very stable. So the third child was planned, and Elaine and Greg had Sheay. She was the child of their happiness and bliss, at least for Elaine, because she realized this was it, this was the last one she would have, and who doesn't love a baby? Well, who isn't supposed to love and nurture a baby? They say babies can hear and feel and sense emotions even in the womb. Darla came into the world always wanting peace and never to present a problem for anyone. She didn't know why, that was just the way she was wired. Darla sits in the back corner of a dark coffee shop one night. Hoodie on, eyes darting. Across from her are 2 local guys she met through a coworker. Not hardened criminals, just people who know how to make things disappear. She holds up her phone with the photo of Sheay's car across the table. A brand new luxury convertible, bright red. She instructs the men to take a picture of the car and license plate off of her phone. She does not want to text them or create any kind of digital trail. She pays 2 guys from the small amount of money she has left from the loan. "This is a small token, you get the rest after the deal is done." This is it, she thinks to herself, this has to work. She makes arrangements for them to steal the car. Darla gives them the window when Sheay will be off the grid. Then Darla adds, "The keys will be above the driver's visor." She never locks the car. What? What I said, she doesn't lock the car. Darla shook her head as to how her sister could live in a whole city in real life and in some happy cartoon in her head. She doesn't lock the car, she doesn't lock anything, as if some invisible security just takes care of her. Disney princess, Darla thought to herself. You sure about this? That's family. Family left me hungry. The car will be parked outside of this spa. She held up another image with the address, outside of town for 3 days. Take it Friday. Sell it and bring me 1/2 of the sales price. Tension hangs. The guys nod. Deal's done. No going back now. Friday night, quick, silent action, the car is gone in under 2 minutes. No alarms. No witnesses. Door unlocked, and the key was over the visor. The guys already have a buyer. They get the buyer first so they don't harbor any stolen goods. Even the son didn't want to look at what Darla was doing early Saturday before dawn. Darla meets one of the guys again and receives an envelope. Inside is $4,800 in $100 bills, old, crumpled up bills that have been forced into order in that envelope. Those bills have been in some dark places and seen some devious things. Maybe nothing this diabolical, but she had no choice. Of course, these were thieves, so this wasn't 1/2, it was 1/3 of what they got, but these are thieves and Darla didn't know any better. She was glad to see the $4,800. Now she can pay back her loan, pay rent. She kept adding up expenses and realized she needed more. She would be getting paid and her paycheck from her part-time job would cover some costs, but she'd be near rock bottom again, and that scared her. $4,800. Back in her apartment, the sun is rising, telling on her, showing her sin and her crime. Darla stares at the envelope and then the money again. She is conflicted. Half guilt, she never wanted to cause any problems for anyone. Half relief, this would help her for a while. More grief, now she's a criminal. Then relief again, they insured, they will just get Sheay another car. While she pondered all this, she opens her fridge and, for the first time in weeks, it's full. Sometimes the only way to be heard is to hit where it hurts. Not proud. But I'm not starving anymore. Her phone rings, interrupting her. It's her mother, Elaine, in chaos. Her parents are panicking. She didn't even speak or greet Dala, she just blurted out, "Where is Sheay? Have you seen Sheay?" And as unlikely as it would be, their mother asked, "Is Sheay with you?" "No, Mom, she is not with me," Dala replied calmly. "I saw her last week or so, why do you ask?" "She's out of reach, no one can reach her since Thursday night and today is Saturday. I'm sure she'll turn up. We traced her car, it's got tracking on it. It was driven out of town and on the same night back into town." "Okay, so she is back in town?" Darla asked, but really she silently panicked. "The car's got a tracker on it?" She hadn't thought about that. Then she worried, they will find the car and maybe track those guys, and then maybe they'll know. Elaine interrupted Darla's thoughts, "But then the tracker was disabled, or removed, so we don't know where the car is or if Sheay is okay." Darla sighed a quiet relief, those guys really knew how to commit crimes. Then she had mixed emotions about that. They are criminals, and she hid them. How could the daughter of a lawyer's life come to this? Her mother blurts, "I have a call coming in, bye." And just hung up. Rested and finally fed, Darla's mind is sharp and she devises another part to her plan. Evan got a car when he graduated from high school. Her dad said no son of his would be caught without a car. Dad thought this would help Evan's popularity with the ladies. It was a very nice sports car. When Darla graduated from high school and was on her way to college, she looked outside to see where her car was. There was no car. So she asked her parents, "Will I also be getting a car, like Evan did?" "No, Darla. Evan wants to go to graduate school and we weren't expecting that, so we can't get a car for you. We hope you will understand." Never wanting to be a burden to her parents, but why didn't she get a car? Evan was in the 4th year of a 2-year program, and had turned into a professional student who was handed everything. He was supposedly trying to be a lawyer like his father, but he would add classes and then drop them just as grades were to come out and then add them again, the same classes the following semester. As far as Darla could see, this was costing his parents a fortune. Evan was not on scholarship like she was. A year later, Darla asked about a car again. They told her Evan is about to finish school, and when he does, you can get his car as your own. "Oh," she said, thinking a used car is better than no car, so she waited. The following year, same story. No car for Darla. 3rd year, Evan should have graduated by now, but he was still driving the car that Darla should have gotten by now. Still she worked, walked, took the bus, or trekked in the rain or snow when she had to. Hard life, she thought to herself. The real kicker came when Evan got a new car, but Darla didn't get his hand-me-down. Darla didn't get Mom's old car or her dad's old car. Darla still got no car. So, she asked her folks, "I thought I was supposed to get Evan's old car when he got a new one." "Oh, Darla," said her mother. "The car Evan wanted was more expensive than we thought, so we had to use his first car as a trade-in. I'm sure we will get you something soon." That was a year ago. Now, this year, Sheay has a brand new car. She estimated how much Evan's car may have cost 3 years ago, added to that how much his new car. She added that to what Shay's car may have cost that they recently bought her, and then averaged that together. On the low end, she figured her parents owed her at least $50K, maybe more if you include all the couture clothing that Sheay gets and the fact that Darla does so well in school that she got full scholarships because of her high GPA, whereas their parents paid tuition for both Evan and Sheay. She kept her head down and was a great daughter and student, and she was tired of being dissed, ignored and suffering. Especially since her parents were well off. What was this all about? WTH. Dala fully hatched the plan to take this $50,000 by force. She was off the grid until Sunday night. It is Saturday morning, the banks would be open until mid-afternoon. Darla would fake the kidnapping of Princess Sheay. She would present a ransom note to her parents and they would rush to either go get the money or wire it to get Sheay back. She would make them believe Sheay had been kidnapped and was being held for ransom. Darla put on some cleaning gloves she had around the house. She cut up a magazine with simple words on it and glued the letters to the paper. $50,000 for her by 6 a.m. Sunday morning, no cops. She is not hurt. Wire to this account and we will release her immediately. Darla is a tech queen, no one realizes that yet. No one even seems to care in her family. She ran out and bought a burner phone. She then set up the untraceable offshore account that only she would have access to. She calls her mother, "Have you found Sheay yet?" Knowing fully where Sheay was and fearfully wondering can Sheay go that many days without her cell phone, because if she got that phone this plan would be over. "No," moaned Elaine hysterically. "OMG," said Darla, in her best acting voice, "I'll be right over." Darla took the note. She didn't waste time on the bus this time, she took an Uber. Just before the car arrived at her family's house, she hacked into the digital doorbell that she had installed herself and disabled it so it froze on the last image it saw. She paid the driver, hopped out of the car, walked up to the front door, secretly put the ransom note in the mailbox, restarted the doorbell system and rang the doorbell. Her mother and father rushed to open it, most likely hoping it was Sheay or word about Sheay. They were cool to Darla. "Oh, it's you, but let her in." Darla entertained their fears and drama pretending to be surprised and concerned. After 10 minutes, she realized that time was moving on and she wanted that money wired into her account before the bank closed and before Sheay resurfaced from the spa. She said, taking out her phone, "Let me see if Sheay has reached out to me." She scrolled through nothing and said, "No, still nothing." Her family ignored her again, as usual. At that time she hacked back into the doorbell system and made it ring. Elaine and Greg rushed to the door again. They looked left and right and saw no one. But they did see a large white envelope jutting out of their black wall-mounted mailbox. It was the ransom note. On cue, her dad's phone rings. "What? No, you're joking, who is this?" The voice on the other end is distorted. "Your daughter's alive. For now. If you want her back, wire $50,000 in 24 hours. No police." Mom screams, drops her coffee mug. Darla flatly asks, "What's going on?" Her dad, in shock, puts the phone on speaker. The demand repeats, then the call drops. He starts panicking. Elaine starts to freak out. "Oh my God. Sheay, oh my God, why would someone do this?" The room falls into a tense silence, except for Darla. The call was automated and created by Darla, and brilliantly done, if she must say so herself. She let her half-smile go quickly before anyone saw it. Who was she kidding? They don't pay any attention to her. Greg interrupted the stunned silence. "We don't have a choice." Dad contacts the bank and begins the wiring process. Because of the amount, they want him to come into the branch. He obliges. They say this may not go through today. Mr. James insists, even offering to pay extra, so the bank manager makes sure it gets processed through. Darla gets a notification on her burner phone that the wire has come through. 50 Gs. She can breathe now, and she knows that her AI project that she is working on will have funding until it is launched. She's happy, but she really knows that she's a criminal. A very quiet criminal. Sometimes being seen costs more than being invisible. But at least now, they can pretend I wasn't there. Sheay is still at the exclusive, remote, no-contact spa where you can't even take your cell phone and she was loving it. In the meantime, Dala had the car stolen and sold. Now Dala was extracting money from their parents because she was desperate, and her parents can afford it. She was taking what they wouldn't give her willingly, by force. Yet Dala hadn't done anything to Sheay and knew better than to. All this makes Dala calculated, cunning, not evil, just deeply wounded and cornered. In the James family living room, the house is a wreck. Her parents burst back into the house, frantic and still panicked. The ransom demand sits on the table, printed and highlighted. Dala watches from the corner, sipping tea. She's quiet, a little too calm. Smug, knowing her little sister is at a spa while she was left without rent or food. Who are these people, she wonders to herself as she studies them as they go back and forth with their worrying. Mom says, we've wired the money. What if they don't bring her back? We're not telling the police. Not yet. They said no cops. Greg, it's been hours. They said that wires sometimes can take a while to post. Elaine, I've got the receipt. It went through. You were there, remember? Evan just sat silently watching them, his head turning left to right like he was watching a tennis match. Then he interjected. Well, okay. How long has it been? The parents acted as though he was bothering them by asking, by being there in their critical moment of worrying about their precious daughter. They didn't even answer him. Darla softly says, Shay's probably fine. Her parents look at her, confused. Hey, she thought, at least they acknowledged that she's there. That's more than they did for Evan. You don't care? You don't know if she's fine or not. Darla, almost smirking, don't I? Darla, the mother, blurts out a lament, Sheay. Sheay. Why did they take my daughter? My little girl, she wails. Then she looks at Darla. At that moment Darla feels as if they wished she had been kidnapped, and not Sheay. And in that same look, of course they wouldn't kidnap you, who would want you? No words are spoken. Elaine saying, my daughter, as if she only had one daughter, was enough for Darla. Oh, this is going to be a long night. Darla knew she couldn't leave this vigil and she'd have to play along. And it was a very long night. Everyone watched and sat together in the living room as if that would bring Sheay back. Darla knew she was only at a spa living the life. She'd have to play this game with them until 5 p.m. Sunday, and Sheay would be calling, for sure. Sheay and Elaine talk all day, every day. Elaine would be Shay's first call when she got her phone back. 5:05 p.m. Sunday. The phone rings. It's Sheay. Elaine gushes with tears flooding, Sheay. Oh my God, baby, are you okay? They gave you your phone. Are you okay? Where are you? Are you hurt? Sheay, cheerful, confused, yeah. Why wouldn't I be? The spa was amazing. I just got my phone back and I'm about to drive back. What's going on? Spa. What spa? She believes she is still holding on to her secret and lies, saying, I mean I had an internship out of town. You mean for school? Yeah, says Sheay. They never question anything she tells them, so she tells them anything, anytime she wants. Dad and Mom exchange horrified looks. Carefully, as not to upset Sheay, Mom says your car was stolen and someone pretended you were kidnapped. We were so worried. Then in a hushed whisper, we paid a ransom. Sheay, shocked and caring less about the emotional state of her family and mostly about her own comforts, as usual blurts out, wait, what? My car was stolen. My new car. Oh no, I was in a mud wrap 2 hours ago. The call drops. Sheay runs outside the spa and sees that her car really is gone. The thought that she left the keys in it and left it unlocked escapes her. I mean, it's just a car. If something happens to it, her parents can get her a new one, like they do everything else. Sheay. Sheay. OMG Greg, the call is dropped. Dala. Her dad asked, do you know anything about this? Dala, calmly, she's fine. I told you she would be. Isn't that the good news here? Elaine interjected, Dala, you did this. Dala, finally standing, did what? I don't know, but you did something. Mom, I've been here with you all, what did I do? I asked you for rent and food. You said you couldn't help me. Because you just helped her. Again. But she is off at a spa and you are freaking out because you can't find her. When I was in the hospital for dehydration and exhaustion, did anyone even miss me? Ignoring Dala again, her mother says, spa. She said she was doing an internship for school. Dala, okay, internship, whatever she calls it, wherever she was, she's fine. Cleverly changing the subject, Dala says, but if her car is stolen, how will she get back home? Elaine, OMG, you're right. Evan finally found his mouth again and says, we have to go look for her. Dad with disdain says to Evan, where? Son, where will we look? The phone rings again, it is Sheay. Oh, my phone died, I had to recharge it. So can someone come get me? Yes, baby, we will be there as soon as possible. Tell us where you are. Elaine asked again, accusingly, Darla, are you sure you don't have anything to do with this? Darla, my goodness mom, dad, why are you trying to blame me for Sheay misplacing her car and hiding from you all for days upon days? Ask Sheay. Ask her. All you care about is Sheay. I'm glad she's fine, but I ask for money for rent and food, you tell me no, but then you pay for her life like it's a princess package. She has an American Express gold card and I have no food and got an eviction notice from my apartment. You all don't care about me. Elaine, shaking, says, she was kidnapped. And you don't care. Dala, Mom, I care, but it seems that she was not kidnapped. Well, her car was stolen. Dala, I don't even have a car. I walk in the rain. I trek in the snow. I don't even have a car. Evan has a car, Evan got a new car, and now Sheay has a car. Where is my car? Dala demanded loudly. This is not the time for that, Dala. You're not the daughter I thought you were. Dala, with a sad smile. I'm exactly the daughter you made me. Invisible. Resourceful. Alone. Dala walks out the front door, bag slung over her shoulder, phone in hand, ordering an Uber. All those cars parked in the driveway, no one offered her a ride home. I gave you every chance to see me. You didn't. So I made you look, she thinks to herself, but I'm not through yet, she whispers out loud as her Uber arrives. Dala walks away from the family. She gets the money that her father and mother wired into the secret account, closes the account, destroys the burner phone and uses the money to finish her education and build her life on her own terms. She then does some amazing business deals and is set for life. This is 5 years later and we see Sheay is still being worshipped and has finished college but still lives at home as a princess. The family, and especially Sheay, remains stuck in their patterns. Evan is still in graduate school. Darla steps off the elevator into her modern, bright office, in a sleek, glass-walled high-rise. Outside she sees a digital billboard flashing. Darla James, Tech Entrepreneur of the Year. She collects a folder and then walks into a conference room, commanding attention and respect and being seen. In a tailored suit. She's polished, powerful, calm. She shakes hands with investors. As the presentation ends, there is applause. An investor grinning happily comments. You just closed a $12 million licensing deal. You're officially untouchable. Dala, smiling. I like that. The room clears. She stands alone for a few moments, glancing out the conference room window, overlooking the city. She silently reminisces. 5 years ago, I was invisible. Broke. Alone. I had to steal a seat at the table of my own family. She laughs to herself, Grand Theft Auto. Me? Darla, the quiet one. I had to become a criminal just to survive. But now I own the table. As she walks to the parking garage, she approaches her late model Lamborghini and says, and now I own the car. Yeah, quiet Darla in an elite Italian import. Her confidence had skyrocketed. At the James house, a familiar, cozy but aging suburban house. Inside, Sheay, now 27, in silk pajamas, lounging in her bedroom, scrolling Instagram on a pink velvet couch. Correction, Sheay is in the master bedroom of her parents' house. After graduation they thought she'd be more comfortable in their room, after all she'd been through, so the parents took a smaller room in the house. It hadn't been all their idea. Sheay had explained to them that she was used to so much more space and needed their larger closet for her things. Especially her sorority things. Once she said that, Elaine gave in immediately as she all but worshipped her sorority. She was now the queen of that house. A graduate, sitting at home for the past 5 years, queen of her parents' house. Mom walks in with fresh laundry. Here are your clothes, dear. Do you want me to put them away? Oh, mommy, if you don't mind. Thank you. How's your smoothie? Oh, it's good, thank you, mommy. Sweetheart, did you decide on grad school yet? Ugh, not today, mom. I'm still decompressing from Pilates. She sips from a smoothie cup with Princess printed on it. The cup may say Princess, but Sheay had graduated to queen in that house. Greg walks by carrying Shay's dog. I've walked your dog, Sheay. And Evan told me to tell you that he's finished washing your car. Oh, look at that, Greg adds, Darla's on TV again. Some interview about her new AI thing. Elaine is instantly annoyed. Why do they keep putting her on these shows? It's not like she didn't manipulate her way there. Sheay shrugs. Whatever. If she needs cameras to feel important, says Sheay, who has all the family's cameras on her while she does nothing. Yet there was Dala with no attention on her while she did everything. First she was good, and then bad, but she did everything. And then she became herself again. Dala is no criminal. The family stays in denial, stuck in old roles. Sheay goes over to her luxurious vanity, turns on her ring light and begins a recording for TikTok. Dala enters her minimalist but elegant home. Soft jazz plays. She opens a bottle of wine, pours 2 glasses. Dr. Trevor buzzes her phone and says, I'm here, I'll be right up. She takes out an envelope and sets it on the table. Written on the front. Paid in full, what you wouldn't give me. Inside, a cashier's check for $50,000, written to her parents. Unsent. A few months later, Dala walks on stage at a packed awards gala. Flashbulbs go off. She stands at the podium. She speaks to every girl who was told to be quiet, grateful, and low maintenance. Don't wait to be seen. Take up space. Build something so big, they can't ignore you. Standing ovation. Dr. Trevor meets her when she comes off stage. That was a fantastic speech, Dala. I'm on call right now, but I didn't want to miss it. I've got to get back to the hospital and get changed back into scrubs when I get there. I'll see you in the morning, honey. They embraced one another quickly, both their platinum wedding rings catching a bit of light and flashing, hers more than his because of the 4-carat diamond in it. See you in the morning, I'll have coffee ready for you at home. She greets a few more people but then leaves the event. In her couture evening gown, Darla decides this is a good night to do it. She drives her purring Lamborghini to her old neighborhood. She stops just short of the sight and sound of the video doorbell on her parents' house. It's just about midnight. Before she gets out of the car, with her cell phone, she disables the doorbell, walks stealthily up to the mailbox and puts in an oversized envelope with the $50,000 check in it, written to her father and mother, jointly. The note inside said, "For the car you think I stole, I don't need it, I have my own car, finally." There, her conscience is eased. She turns her back and turns the doorbell video camera back on and walks proudly back down the sidewalk into the darkness and gets in her sports car. From the day of her conception, they never saw her coming, it seems. They were not prepared for her arrival, but she is making sure that they can see her walking away. Dala purposefully now drives slowly past the house so the camera will pick up the image of her amazing car. Well, for now. She thought, smiling to herself, soon she'll be trading it in for a mom van. But mostly what they didn't see was Darla's wedding rings and her and Trevor's baby bump. They are having their first child, a child they both want and already love, but they have agreed not to worship the child. The end. Did Darla do right or wrong in how she got money from her parents? Was Sheay over the top or was her mother the problem? When do you think Evan will finish graduate school? Write your comments below. Like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next story.